Oh, so tired. What's up, guys? This is Brad with Osan Fitness. I'm just finishing up a workout. I'm beat, but I wanted to come together with a quick video, and I can't believe I haven't seen this in other, being repeated in other venues. So in the event that you haven't seen it, I'm going to try to give you a couple of quick quick snippets of information, and this is coming from a podcast that Barbell Shrugged did with Dr. Brad Shoenfeld. It's episode 289. I'll put a link for that video in the description box below so you can check out the whole video. It's about an hour long if you want to watch the whole thing, but it is a veritable treasure trove of information. And really, I think the point blank, a lot of us, up to including myself, have been looking at hypertrophy incorrectly. And so I'm gonna talk about, I think, 3 points that they talk about throughout that video real fast. So the first is, we're looking at hypertrophy kind of incorrectly. So the former wisdom of hypertrophy was that you have to work in a rep range of like 10, 12, maybe more, right, in order to get into hypertrophy. And Dr. Brad Shoenfeld and his associates have proven that wrong, right? So they did a study that they published. I don't have the study, haven't looked at the study itself, but again, I'm just kind of going off of what Dr. Brad Shoenfeld said in this particular podcast, is that they've published a study that shows very clearly that hypertrophic gains were the same in control groups that were doing 5 reps versus 12 reps, right? So there is a dose response, and so once you meet that kind of requisite dose response, you're getting hypertrophic gains. And so what they established was that 5 reps and 12 reps, when done for say 5, 7, 10 sets, we're getting the same amount of hypertrophy. So the issue here is not the repetitions, so to speak, but overall sets. And they did the study leading up to 10 sets. What they found is that the control group that did 10 sets actually had about twice the hypertrophy as the control group that did 5 sets. And really the only difference between the reps of say 5 reps versus 12 reps was the groups that did the 5 reps got stronger because they were handling heavier weight. So overall, between 5 reps and 12 reps for say 10 sets, hypertrophy was the same, but the group that was doing the 5 reps got stronger. And I think that's kind of important. So if you're looking at hypertrophy that you have to hit that 12 rep window or whatever, it's not necessarily true. You can push hypertrophic gains with rep ranges in the 5s as long as you're getting the requisite sets. So this control group, like I said, they got up to 10. So the maximal gains could be at 12 or 15. It's going to be different for everybody, and at some point there is going to be a drop off, right? So it is not infinitely scalable. At some point in time, you're going to reach a limit. So that's important to know. And then also, they found that, this is kind of the second point, they found that splitting it up into two different working groups was important, right? So hitting legs twice a week was better than doing it just once. So if, for example, you wanted to try to maximize, hypertrophy with your legs, and you're performing squats, instead of performing 10 sets of squats in one session, it may be more beneficial to do 5 sets in one session and then 5 sets in another session later in the same week. So that's interesting to kind of look at. And then the last point that I think is kind of important is a lot of people who are concerned about the intake of protein, when to do it, right? When do I need to eat post-workout, etc., right? And it's a very complicated kind of an answer. So there is, the research shows that there really is no like anabolic window, so to speak. So there isn't much difference in consuming the protein, 15 minutes versus an hour versus 2 hours. In fact, Dr. Shoenfeld talks about how, the research shows that you could potentially, take in the protein dose as much as 24 hours post-workout. However, I guess the hypothesis is that it's probably better to take it sooner after the workout than later, because your muscles are primed and kind of eager to accept and absorb the nutrients at that point in time post-workout. So if you have the opportunity to take in protein kind of immediately following a workout, it's probably more better. But it's not necessarily make or break, do or die. You have 1 hour to get your protein in, otherwise you're just not going to get any gains. It really doesn't work like that. And it also matters what you've consumed leading into the workout. So if you've eaten within 3 or 4 hours of working out, you still have something in your system that's absorbing into your system from the meal that you previously ate. So it becomes more critical to eat, have some protein dose, sooner after training, if you've gone into that training session fasted. So if you fasted for a period of time before training, it would be more important to take the protein dose kind of sooner after that exercise session than later. But again, an hour versus 2 hours, net effect is really probably very small. So anyway, so those are 3 points that I think are really, really important to kind of point out that I don't think a lot of people know. You hear a lot of the bro stuff going back and forth, and I felt like this was just a really important snippet of information I wanted to try to blast out to you guys so you guys could check out that podcast for yourself and listen to what Dr. Shoenfeld has to say. Look into some of his research and read it for yourself. I just think it's fascinating, and I think it will help some of you newcomers to the game, get some fresh information and kind of break that stereotype, or break that bro science that a lot of us have embedded into our head about sets and reps and the anabolic window and so on and so forth. The anabolic window has been fairly well debunked at this point, so I think it's important to kind of reiterate that, especially for anybody that's new to getting into training and looking to kind of enhance or maximize their gains. Anyway, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave in the chat box below. I'll be sure to respond. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope that this helps. Leave me a comment if this is stuff that you knew, or if this is kind of new information for you and it's interesting. I certainly hope that I'm bringing something fresh and new to at least a few of you. Yeah, that's it, guys. You can help me out with those likes, and shares, and subscribes. We've definitely grown the channel a lot, and I'm super appreciative of it. And I can't wait to see where we can go with it. I'm ever grateful, forever grateful for you guys, and it means a lot to me. Remember, no matter what you think you can't do, or how much misinformation, bro science we've been fed most of our lives, shake it off, get in, train to spite. You're either going to find an excuse or you're going to find a way. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.